There's a moment somewhere in your life, maybe early, maybe later, when you realize love isn't what you thought it was, that it isn't sacred, that it isn't forever, that it isn't even real in the way they promised you it would be. You stare at your own hands, or the edge of a stranger's bed, or the cold blue light of your phone at 2 a.m. and the truth sinks in. Love is just marketing, and you bought it. They raised us on stories, fairy tales, songs, movies that told us there was someone out there who would make the ache inside stop. Someone who would look at us and understand. Someone whose presence would make the grayness disappear. And for a while, I believed them. I really did. I believed in the soulmate narrative, in the butterflies, in the fireworks. I believed that connection was this magical thing waiting around the corner, if you just kept your heart open long enough. But hearts don't stay open forever. They crack, they rot, they calcify. Mine did, slowly, over time. Every failed conversation, every half-hearted date, every ghosted message, every moment of pretending to care when I didn't, or pretending not to care when I did. It builds up. The weight of it, the sheer exhaustion of trying to matter to people who are just trying to pass the time. I don't believe in love anymore. Not in this era, not in this economy, not in this culture of swiping and detachment and curated selves. What we have now isn't love, it's performance, it's product, it's packaging, bios and filters and angles and calculated vulnerability. It's pretending to be interesting for 30 seconds so someone doesn't swipe you into oblivion. And if you're lucky enough to match, to connect, to meet, then comes the dance, the interview, the mask wearing, the cautious vulnerability, the subtle checking of boxes. Do they want kids? What are their politics? Can I see myself with them in 5 years? Will they heal the wounds I refuse to look at? Nobody's really dating each other. They're dating the idea of each other. They're dating potential, illusion, convenience. And the moment the illusion slips, the moment reality kicks in, they're gone. On to the next screen, the next distraction, the next temporary warmth. I used to think maybe it was just me. Maybe I wasn't attractive enough, or charismatic enough, or emotionally stable enough. But I've come to understand, it's not me. It's not even them. It's the whole game. It's poisoned. Love, as we imagined it, was a lie built on scarcity, a myth told to keep us watching, hoping, buying. Romantic comedies, wedding industries, dating apps, Valentine's Day. It's all monetized now. They've taken the most intimate human emotion and sold it back to us, wrapped in fantasy and expectation. And when it doesn't live up to that, when real people disappoint us, they inevitably will we blame them or ourselves. Never the myth. I've dated, I've tried, I've opened myself up and let people in. I've done the talking stages, the half relationships where you're together but not really, where you sleep together but don't talk about feelings, where you care but can't show it because that's too much. I've been ghosted, breadcrumbed, benched, soft-launched. I've been a placeholder. I've been a rebound. I've been the right person at the wrong time. I've heard every excuse in the book, every euphemism for I'm bored now. And slowly, piece by piece, something inside me gave up. I stopped reaching out, stopped initiating, stopped hoping, because the outcome is always the same. Someone gets tired, someone wants more, someone wants less, someone disappears. It's like clockwork, like a cycle written into the DNA of modern romance. I used to think I was capable of deep love, that I had this well of feeling inside me that, if poured into the right person, would be enough. But that's the cruelest trick of all, believing that love is a currency you can trade for permanence. It's not. You can love someone with your entire being, and they can still leave. They can still choose comfort over connection, aesthetics over authenticity. They can still wake up one morning and decide you're not enough, even if you gave them everything. Love doesn't save anything. It doesn't guarantee anything. That's what nobody tells you. That love doesn't promise loyalty or presence or safety. Love is not a contract, it's a gamble. And in this culture, the house always wins. I'm tired of pretending I want to play the game, tired of pretending that I care about chemistry or flirting or connection. I've become someone I used to, pity a cynic, a dropout, a ghost. In the dating world, I still get matches, I still get messages, but I can't bring myself to reply. I just stare at the screen, blank, knowing exactly how it's going to go, knowing how much energy it takes to pretend I still believe. Because the truth is, I don't want to find someone anymore. I don't even know what that means. Find someone for what? For company, for routine, for sex, for some vague notion of emotional security that almost never holds. What I want, if I'm honest, is not to be seen anymore. Not like that. I want peace. I want the silence of not needing to chase affection. I want to stop looking at every interaction as a potential connection. I want to stop feeling like I'm failing at something just because I'm alone. But the world doesn't let you feel that way for long. There's always some reminder, a couple holding hands, a wedding photo on your feed, a family gathering you weren't invited to, and suddenly you're 13 again, watching everyone get picked while you sit on the sidelines, wondering what's wrong with you. Only now you know the answer. Nothing's wrong with you. What's wrong is the entire idea. The idea that love is the ultimate prize, that partnership equals fulfillment, that being alone means being incomplete, that happiness comes in pairs. That lie is the most dangerous of all, because it keeps you looking. Even after you've lost hope, even after you've bled out emotionally, you still look, because that's what you were trained to do, because loneliness is treated like failure, because solitude is seen as a sickness. So we keep downloading the apps, keep going on the dates, keep forcing the smiles, hoping the algorithm gets it right this time, but all it gets is your data, and all you get is another ghost to haunt your phone. At some point, the sadness stops being loud. It just becomes the air, the water, the background hum of your existence. You stop crying over people. You stop trying to figure out what went wrong. You stop hoping they'll text back, because you already know they won't. What hurts more than being heartbroken is being indifferent, realizing you don't even have the energy to hurt anymore. You just observe, like you're watching your own life from outside of it, like you're trapped behind glass, watching people kiss, marry, move in together, call each other babe, and post pictures with fake, plastered smiles, and it all just feels like a show, a rerun of something that used to mean something before you realized the plot never changes. Every relationship I've seen ends one of three ways. They leave, they cheat, or they stay. But not really. They stay like ghosts, going through the motions, sleepwalking through years of familiarity and quiet contempt. They stay because they're afraid of being alone, because they're codependent, because breaking up is inconvenient, not because they're in love. Because that kind of love, the real kind, the honest, soul-shattering, doesn't happen anymore, if it ever did. And the more I accept that, the quieter I become, the colder, the more distant. I see people, and I don't see stories anymore. See eventual endings. I see drama. I see pain. I see emotional messes waiting to happen. I see another human with a lifetime of trauma just waiting to be triggered by mine. And I want no part in that. So I opt out. I delete the apps. I ignore the DMIs. I scroll past the dating advice. I tune out the love songs, because I know what they are now. Noise. Just more ways to make us feel like we're missing something. Just more fuel for the algorithm. I used to think being alone meant I was broken. Now I realize being alone is the only time I've ever felt safe. I no longer have access to. That part of me has shut down. Not temporarily, not in a give it time, you'll heal kind of way. Permanently, like a power outage in a building no one lives in anymore. The lights are off, and I'm not calling the electrician, because I've done the work. I've tried the therapy. I've journaled. I've meditated. I've done the inner child exercises, sat cross-legged in silence, faced my shadows, and still, the outcome is the same. I don't believe in love. Not for me. Not in this life. It's not just heartbreak that did it. It's the accumulation, the patterns, the apathy, the constant realization that dating today is just performance art, that everyone's auditioning for roles they don't even want, that we're just playing parts in each other's loneliness. People don't date to love. They date to distract, to pass time, to avoid themselves, to prove they're still wanted. And when that temporary high fades, they run back to the apps, back to the noise, back to the cycle. And if you're lucky, you get to be a short chapter in their story. A thing that didn't work out, a footnote, a blurry memory attached to a song or a season or a city. I don't want to be a footnote. I don't want to be a distraction. And I don't want to pretend anymore. That's the part that hurts the most, realizing how much pretending is required just to exist in the dating world. Pretending you're okay. Pretending you're not too much. Pretending you're not desperate. Pretending you're interested. Pretending you're chill. I'm not chill. I'm tired. I'm honest. I'm full of feelings that this world has no place for. I love too deeply and trust too slowly and communicate too much. And there is no market for that. Not now. Not anymore. Love today is about speed, efficiency, optics, aesthetic, compatibility, emotional convenience. And if you bring realness to that game, you lose. You get labeled as needy, intense, unstable, because caring too much is a crime now. Vulnerability is embarrassing. Wanting something real makes you look like a fool. So I've stopped wanting, and in the absence of want, there's this strange peace, cold, quiet, lonely, but predictable. I no longer wait for replies. I no longer feel the rush of what if. I no longer ache for someone to hold at night, because I've held enough bodies that meant nothing, and I've watched enough eyes go dim when the novelty wore off. I know how this story ends. It ends in silence, or worse, awkward, small talk between two people who used to mean something to each other. And I don't want that ending again. So I write this from a place not of bitterness, but acceptance. I don't believe in love anymore, and that's okay. Maybe that part of me had to die so the rest of me could survive. People will hear this and say, I'm jaded, damaged, cynical, that I need to keep trying, that I shouldn't give up, that the right person is still out there. But I'm done buying what they're selling. I don't want the right person. I want to feel human again, and I don't think love can give me that anymore. Maybe it never could.